You hear them say, well, they got laid off at like, 6 months or whatever.
Let's have a pledge flag.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
One thing is public speaking.
I have one quick thing. I'd like to request a copy of the 2020 and 2021 inventories for this township.
Okay. Is that
I'll
something
give
that
you
all
my
have?
address.
You should have it in there. Just, what inventory do you want? Equipment inventory or everything we own? Or
I'd like to see everything that we own as a township.
that would be on our insurance. Take the thing in there. Most of it.
That's all I had.
Anybody else?
And do you have an address?
Yes,
or-
ma'am.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Yes, I'm here. I missed last month, so I wasn't able to keep up with all the progress we've made on the young road. 501 days, gentlemen, ladies. 501 days since that road's been closed.
Well, I'll let Chris answer that question right there. He talked to Maiden last.
Good.
What did Maiden tell you?
I talked to Jeff Maiden 2 weeks ago. Asked what progress he has made on trying to secure funding for it. Last we had spoke with him, he was working on a couple different angles to try to get monies from the state for it.
Was that related to my meeting with him?
That was post your
That
meeting
was
with
after
him.
your meeting.
After mine? Okay.
Yeah.
Because he told me that he would help in any way he could if you all contacted him. Okay, well, I'm sorry to interrupt you, Chris, go ahead.
We've already been contacting him, but at any rate,
Uh-huh.
so he proceeded to tell me he got funding for 2 of his slips, and he had actually forgot about our slip. So I don't know how you, as a county engineer, can forget about the biggest slip in the county, but that's exactly what he told me. So he said, I guess it's my bad, y'all can hate me. So he said he wanted to drill a couple holes over there to exactly see what was down in there to try to get a little better idea if he could cheapen up the price of the fix on it. He'd been talking to some lady up to the state. I think she's director of EMA,
What is he in?
Emergency Management Agency of Ohio. You can get funding from them, possibly. This is where he got funding for 2 of the county slips and somehow forgot about ours, his words, not mine. And then maybe draw upon the Ohio Public Works for a little bit of money to make up the difference. So that's what he told me. So that's the last contact any of us has had with him on the matter. So
I was up there this morning, but I didn't get a chance to talk to him. I talked to Donnie.
So, according to him, he forgot all about our slip, so.
Well, according to my meeting with him, he didn't say that, he had forgotten about it, but,
Well, this, like I said, this was after you were there, as I stated once, so.
Yeah.
And he called me the next day after you was up there, after we had our meeting,
Okay,
and he called me the next day and said he would help us.
that's in early August, right? That was after the August meeting?
Yeah, whenever that meeting,
Yep.
whenever you was up there, he called me the next day.
Okay.
And he said he told you that he would help us with money, correct?
Is that what he told you, he told me?
He said that he told you that.
That's right, that's what he told me,
Okay.
that's correct.
All right, then we got further down in the conversation,
Right.
and he said, I can't give you any money because that would run me short of money. I said, well, I understand that, but, you know, I don't, exactly what he told me, so. Then he said, I'll work on the paperwork and get you the money, try to get you the money, and then he told Chris that he forgot about it, so that's where we're at right
So
now.
what's the schedule now? I mean, where are we now?
I
Is he
don't
going to
know.
proceed with, even though he forgot previously, does he now remember?
Well, he's gonna have to get on the ball, I would say.
Well, are we going
Get
to stay in contact with him?
Sure, we're gonna
I
be
mean,
in
we got,
contact with him. Matter of fact, I'm working on another project right now with the engineer's office. So I'll be up
I
there.
hope it's not as significant as Young Road.
Pardon?
I hope it's not as significant as Young Road.
No, let's go clear back to 2018. I'll bring it up here after a while.
It shouldn't be taking precedent over Young Road, because as Chris said, it's the largest slip in Athens County.
Agreed.
There are 14 townships, and that seems like it ought to get someone's attention.
Yep.
We got a bunch of people over on Young Road that have given up. I'm telling you, gentlemen, 500 days, they don't hear what you just told me. They think it's over with.
Oh, no. it's not.
While there's no funding, no one tells them a thing. No one tells them a thing except when I tell them. And I don't hear anything positive for the last 18 months I've been coming here. This is the most positive thing I've heard. An effort needs to be made. We need that road. We have trees down, Bob. I called you about a tree down over the road. We've had 2 or 3 trees down over the road here since that road's been closed. Only one way out. Power lines are down all the time, as you know.
I understand.
If we can't get out, we got a problem. And my proposal is, if there's no funding available, let's go back to where we were in May of last year when you and I talked. And let's just make it so we can get out. Fill in the hole there, the culvert, fill in this little hole here so we can get out. If we can't get out the other way, we got a problem. But if there's no funding going to be available, we go on another 500, 600 days.
Well, we don't know whether there's no funding, because Laura told me from EMA that Ohio Public Works had money now. So
Well,
Jeff has got to get things rolling and get,
why does he apply for it? Now, the application that I was given from a year ago, or whenever it was, would you all apply?
but we did, but he has to help us out. The county engineer has to help you out on this stuff. We can't do it all on our own because you have to have the engineer involved.
I understand,
And
I
he has to
understand,
draw up he has to,
but he didn't sign off on this, the last one, he didn't sign it. You all signed it.
right, but we have our application, our paperwork done. It's his paperwork that has to be done.
What about the initial paperwork?
That will come to us later, right? Once he
There was
gets it.
initial paperwork that I have here in my hand that
Yes,
Gail
that was
gave me.
Yeah.
submitted to OPWC, and then she got back to me and said that funding is not, the funding's not available.
At that point in time, but they have,
Yes.
there's funding.
And then what it does,
Every
it
year.
goes into the circle, and then it is based on when you have your paperwork in there.
Well,
Does that make
did you have to
sense?
resubmit?
No,
So this is a good application?
Yes,
This is
as far
a
as-
viable application?
yes, as far as I know, there has not been anything that's come back to me that said that the application, that there's anything wrong with the application. The lady that works at OPWC is retiring, and I'm just telling you, she's retiring and someone else is taking over for her.
Donna's retiring?
Yes.
Oh, darn.
Well,
That'll be interesting.
I don't know what
I
else the
don't know
people,
that.
I don't know what else the people over on Young Road can do, you know. I kinda represent them because I don't work and I've got time to do all
Right.
this.
And we appreciate you coming
Oh.
and we know your concern, and it concerns us because it makes it easier for us to plow that road when there's snow on that road. If we can go right on down over the hill
Yeah.
and instead of turning
Well,
around there
we
and
got
driveway.
problems, we got problems down there, Bob, you know. Those side-by-sides are racing up through there, they got a racetrack up the hill, they can get through. And they're dumping garbage or trash on me, because they can go down there, they can dump it, and they go on.
Did you call the sheriff's department?
No, I didn't call the sheriff,
That might do you any good anyway.
probably not.
'Cause we've had breaking in here in the last couple of weeks and they never even come down, so.
Well,
They did come down the other day and take pictures of the fence.
Oh, did they?
Yeah.
Well, that's amazing.
Yeah.
But we're still working on it. We haven't give up on it. And we're not gonna give up on it.
Well, you know, this is the most positive, in 18 months, Bob.
I know.
That's the most positive statement. You didn't say that 6 months ago. You weren't saying we're gonna keep on working on it. See, that would have alleviated a lot of anger over on Young Road. Had we known that you guys were in our camp and gonna work to solve the problem, even though the problem may be insurmountable at the time.
Back then, we were still working on it.
You
But
never
if you
said
just-
that.
Huh?
You never said that. You never said we're working on it. All you did was say we can't do anything.
Well, we couldn't do anything, but we're still working on it. I mean,
Well, you didn't give us any hope.
When we went by the other day, it's been what, a month ago, it appeared that there had been individuals having a campfire in the road. There was trash all over and it looked like they had built.
Down in the
built-
front, down in the
down
slip.
into the road.
built, it looked. it
Well, they
appeared
party
that
down
they
there all
had-
the time, Bob.
Yes, it looked like they had.
Bob's never been out there to see it, so.
It looked like they had been partying and had a fire built in the road and was having a good
Well,
old time.
I hear on Friday, Saturday nights, whatever, I hear all kinds of
I
activity
believe
down
you.
there.
About
Can
what
I ask
time?
why
You don't call the law on them then?
What am I supposed to call the law? They're on a public road.
Yeah, so that would be illegal.
But that's
If you're on a
illegal to
public
go
road doing
far
stuff
and
like
over.
that,
Well, I didn't know
would be
how
illegal.
far. She just told me about it. She said,
Oh.
far.
That's what it appeared.
I don't know how
It
far.
looked like they
I
had
never
been
saw it, but
having a
I
campfire.
hear music, I hear people talking, yelling at each other.
About what time do you hear this?
Well, in the summer, it was darkish, about dark, you know, whenever that would be, 8:30, 9 o'clock, sometimes.
Okay.
But it's been going on, you know, it's not new. And then, of course, I was down, you know, the old house is on the road there, Bob.
Yeah.
I was down there doing some errands, or doing some things now. I heard 4x4s and those two four-wheel motorcycles coming. And there must have been 6 or 8 of them racing up through there, doing whatever speed you could do, just flying, going up the road, from the cut, from the slip, on up the road. And you could hear them go all the way around. They use it as a racetrack.
I think that's a group that just travel on the road because they come past the house and.
Well, they go down they run Miller Road,
Yeah,
they run
Miller
all these
Road.
back roads.
They run Blackwood Road, up Blackwood the other way, and, yeah, they're all over the place. I know who you're talking about.
Well, we would appreciate it if we're not gonna get funding, open the thing up so we can get out when there's an emergency.
But if we go over and work on it, then we won't get the funding, what I'm saying.
Well, no one will know the difference. No one will know the difference, Bob. It's in such bad shape now, no one will know the difference. And I'll tell you, if there isn't gonna be any funding, there hasn't been funding for 500 days.
We're hoping there's funding out there as soon as Jeff gets his stuff together. We're
Do
really
you want me,
hoping.
when are you gonna go talk to Jeff again?
Pardon?
When are you talking to Jeff again? You have a scheduled meeting?
Next day or so, cause I gotta pick up some paperwork up there I took up this morning.
Well, I'll follow up too, cause Jeff and I know Jeff, I've known him for years. I don't think he lied to me, but, he told me he was more than willing to help do whatever was necessary to get that road opened up. That's what he told me.
Yeah, but I don't know why he forgot, but he just got busy,
Well,
forgot about it, I don't know.
I don't know.
I mean,
You know about squeaky wheels. That's what it is. It's whoever squeaks the loudest gets the grease. And by God, if you don't squeak, Bob, you ain't gonna get anything.
well, we've been in contact with him, we've been
Well-
trying. He's contacting, not just me, but he's
Okay, well,
contacting.
I don't wanna belabor the fact that it's been a long time, and it's been way too long.
I understand.
Well,
We had the same problem out there on Jordan Run. It took us almost 2 years to get.
but
the
that
money.
road was open. You could get through there. It
Right.
didn't impede, you know, ingress and egress. This does. This does.
But a little bit.
Who knows what, no one was gonna complain, they knew what the problem was, but they could still get in and out. Jordan Run was still, passable.
Well,
Same way with 119 or whatever that road is over there. It's passable, no one's complaining.
Right. And we're still waiting on money on that yet.
You know?
But your road's the top priority. If we can get money for that, then we'll go back and try to get money for 119.
Well, 119 is not my
That's
problem.
why I told Jeff, if we can get money for one, then we'll go back and try to get money for the other one later. But yours is the most priority because it costs the most to start with.
Yeah.
And we got the road closed, well, we don't have 119 closed, so that's a priority right there.
Well, I appreciate those comments.
I mean, but we haven't given up. It's just a
Well,
long.
well, you know, I'll tell the people over there, because they're interested, and I'll tell them exactly what you said tonight.
We're already trying. Like I say, Chris talked to him a couple weeks ago, and if he's in there when I go up and pick my paperwork up, I'm gonna try to talk to him again, then get to talk to him this morning, and talk to Donnie. But he was busy on the phone this morning, so.
Well, I'll go talk to him too here in a little bit, after you talk to him.
I don't like it either. I really don't.
You don't like it?
I think it's crazy that it takes this long to get money to do something.
Money, I know how money is, there's a shortage of money, and whoever makes the most noise gets it.
But,
Most priority, the biggest
but we can
priority.
give money away.
Huh?
We can give money away. You know, the state government, how much they give away? $5 million?
I don't know.
Well, for the Kobe shot thing, if I had $1 million of that, I could fix all the slips in Carthage Township. You know? So yeah, I don't understand why you can give money away, but you can't get money to fix the roads with. I just don't understand it.
Well, we're gonna hold you to this, guys.
If we get the money, it's gonna be fixed, I guarantee you.
Well, I would hope,
And I know,
if you get the money.
ain't no hope there, it's a fact.
It ain't gonna come unless you make some noise and go after it. Yes, sir.
Anybody else got, well, one thing about it, if you get too rowdy with them, and I've been down this road, I got thrown out of the engineer's office by getting rowdy when Canterbury and Archie was in there. Then they don't do nothing. Nothing. So, you
Well-
gotta kinda kiss bucks to get anything?
Well, I hope that's not the case here.
Well,
Cause I've been pretty rowdy myself.
I've been in there a long time, and I'm telling you, if you get anything from the county government, you gotta kiss bucks to get it.
Well,
And that's a sad statement to have to make, you know, it really is. The only office that really cares about you is Jill Thompson up there. If you have a question or you need something, she's right there, isn't she? Pretty
she
much.
takes money, she doesn't give it.
So, anybody else? If not, we'll have reading of the bills and motion to pay the bills.
Motion to pay, funds sufficient.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
After January, Willie might have to work on the slip,
Why's that?
huh?
Why's that?
If he beats me in the election.
Well, you're not the only one running, are you?
Chris is on it. Man, him's up this time. Depending on the old voters.
Hope you get it.
Got my vote.
A1 sanitation, $24 for the trash in October. Pepper's Plains, Chester Water, 50/60, it's 25/30 for the firehouse and 25/30 for the township garage. American Electric Power for the firehouse, it was $196.14. Needed now hydraulics, it was for labor to rebuild a cylinder and seal kits. This was for an item that was done in the 1st of September. It was $105. Matt Cochran Trucking, this was for 304 and dust for the road buildup for the chip and seal. That check was $1,740.96. Diamond Stone, it was $2,910.99. It was for number 411 limestone for the chip and seal. And it was a total of 176.96 ton at $16.45 a ton. Truck sales and service, it was for a kit and a core deposit. It was $129.10. American Electric Power for the Township building was $86.90. And then we have a bill for asphalt materials. This was for 2 loads of sealant. It was $21,787.08 for the chip and seal. Bob, you've already signed this one, so it just needs to go to Ranson. It was missed, when I paid bills last week, it was missed. And I just held it for our meeting today. We received another, I don't have the check because I had already made all of my reports and everything for, today, but we did receive a bill for 1 tanker of, sealant, and it was for 5,000 gallons, and it was $10,686.94, and as I said, it was just in my email today, and I had already run all the reports, and I wasn't gonna run the reports again for the 1 check, so I'll make it out and I'll leave it in the box for you all to sign. The payroll was done, the payroll is the same each month. Ransom's is $857.01, Chris's is $766.59, and Bob's is $778.19, and mine is $1,300. Because if anyone wonders why the trustees are different from the fiscal officer is paid for 12 months out of the year, whereas the trustees are paid for 200 days out of the year. So that's how that's figured.
That means we'll have to work 200 days out of the year.
Well, normally you guys work, yeah. Some days you work many more than that.
So you're saying your position is 12 months a year, theirs is only what, 200 days?
That's how their pay is determined, is for 200 days out of the year. Mine is based on a 12-month salary, whereas theirs is based on 200 days.
She is considered a full-time employee. We are a part-time employee.
I'm sorry. Earlier part of the month, let me see, we had payroll for the guys, on 9/21. Steve's was $889.86, Jeremiah's was $443.14, Eric's was $792.53, Keith's was $260.19. We had a bill for Howell Rescue Systems, which was for the stabilizer kits. It was $2,125, that was fire department. We had a Ohio Treasurer of State for $60, that was for the, Mac, for the radios for, the firehouse. Pine Welding was $116.90, it was for acetylene, plus it was for, some tips and items for the welding. Warehouse Tire was $344.64, Atlantic Emergency Solutions was $398. Truck Sales and Service was $410.25, again it was for repairs. Randy Moore Petroleum, the gas for last month was $1,897.89. Asphalt Materials, which I told you, was $21,787.08. Boyd Company was $131.83. JJ's Welding was to weld on the,
Red
Red.
F-350.
thank you.
Red ton truck.
Sorry, I couldn't remember what it was. It was $100. Now Bridgeport equipment was $179.90. Napa was $437.92. Southeastern equipment was $1,142.72. That was for the repair on the backhoe. Auto Plus in Marietta was $33.66. And then we had the payroll, which I just announced. So that was the items for this particular month. We had $47,525.64.
Reading on them.
Bottom of my coffee. I need this every single time. These were the minutes. This was regular minutes for September the 7th, 2021, Carthage Township meeting room at 7 p.m. In attendance was Bob Polens, Chris Nutter, Ransom Calloway was not here. Those were the trustees, Gail Buckley, fiscal officer, and then the sheet, see the sheet for attendance, which I attached to the minutes, and they're in the minute folder. Robert Polens called the meeting to order with the reciting of the Pledge of Allegiance. There was no public speaking. Robert Polens asked for the reading of the minutes. After the minutes were read, Bob asked for a motion to accept the minutes with corrections. And I put motions in there twice. With corrections, Chris made a motion to accept the minutes as read. With corrections, Bob seconded, both approved. The correspondence was read and approved. Bob Polens asked for the bills and a motion to pay bills if money is sufficient. I know, because that's what happens. Chris made a motion to pay the bills, Bob seconded, both approved. I had put Ransom in there because I use the same template from each month, and then I go in and move things around and change who was here and not here. All bills were paid and payroll was signed and given to the trustees and the fiscal officer. The total bills were, that was the bills for the month before. I'll get the total here in just a few minutes to let everyone know. The correspondence was read and approved. Old business. The big backhoe was fixed by Southeastern Equipment. New business, Chris Nutter attended a meeting for ARPA funding, which is the new, if no one's aware of it, it's the new money that we received from the federal government, in correlation to the COVID funding that was for last year. Last year's was called CARES, this is called ARPA, which is the American Recovery
Plan Act, I think it is.
I believe that's what it's called. I can go in and double check and make sure. What can the money be spent on? May have to contact the prosecutor's office for clarification on what exactly it can be spent on. The correspondence was read and approved. A letter was sent to Mr. McBride on Dutch Ridge Road about the removal of the fence on and near his road, or on, well, let me try that one more time. The removal of the fence on the near portion of the road. This was from the prosecutor's office. The letter was read. Chris Nutter made a motion to remove the fence after September the 30th. The township could remove fence. Bob Polens seconded, both approved. Employee business, the 2 full-time employees want a raise to match the other townships in the area. They want $18 an hour. If they don't get the raise, then they will quit. It will be about $6,720 a year for each employee. Chris made a motion to increase their wage. They will not be eligible for another raise until after December 30th, 2022. Bob seconded, both approved. The fiscal officer gave Pam Nutter a check from the Ladies Auxiliary from Ernest Calloway for the breakfast. This check was from the ladies auxiliary account, the fiscal officer was just the deliverer. Fire department, Chris stated that the fire department needs to purchase a chainsaw for one of the trucks. Bob made a motion to purchase the chainsaw, Chris seconded, both approved. The old white truck needs a new starter. Bob believes that it's time to dispose of the white truck, but we need to keep it around until the knock sensor comes in for the new white 550. The chip and seal was done on Tommy Bond and Dixon Road, and the reason for Carthage Township's roads where chip and seal is behind is due to the equipment breakage. Robert Collins asked for the bills and a motion to pay the bills if money is sufficient. Chris made a motion to pay the bills, Bob seconded, both approved. See, that's where I did it. That's what happened, guys. I didn't go back and double check. Tankless hot water tank is needed for the firehouse for the washer to clean turnout gear. Bob made a motion to buy and install a tankless hot water tank if it is less than $1,500. Chris seconded, both approved. Bob made a motion to adjourn, Chris seconded, both approved. And that was my fault. So up here where it says Robert Pullins asked for the bills and a motion to pay the bills, this was from last month. So I'm going to cross it out. And it was done. If anyone wants to take a look at my notes from last month, they're more than welcome to. And then it was done back here because you had made the statement that we had gotten out of order when we had done that. So what it says is Robert Pullins asked for the bills and a motion to pay the bills if money is sufficient. Chris made a motion to pay the bills, Bob seconded, both approved. All bills were paid and payroll was signed and given to the trustees and the fiscal officer.
Any more corrections to the minutes?
A couple. Most of them are just typos.
It's just typos. I try to
I
catch them
think,
as I go through.
I think instead of fence, it's just posts in about 3 places.
Oh, yes, sorry about that.
Yeah,
Removal of the
wasn't
posts. I apologize.
And on down to the final paragraph, first page. The enumerating of the roads that was chip and seal, you've got Tommy Bond, Dixon Road, but you need to add Barnhart, Jarvis, Jordan, and Dean Cemetery.
Okay, I did not know those. Those, I didn't remember you guys mentioning those last time. Barnhart. Who else did you say?
Jarvis, Jordan Run, Dean Cemetery.
And if you did say it, I apologize. I didn't get it in my notes.
Well, it's okay. It's corrected. That's all I have. If no further corrections or additions, I move to accept the motion with corrections.
Second.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Could you retype in sometime with the corrections on there?
Yeah, and then I can just attach this to it so they can see what I've done.
I need it for my record.
Yes, I can retype them and I'll put that in my notes that Mr. Pullins asked for me to retype the minutes with the corrections.
Do you have any correspondence?
Yes. If I don't write it down, then this is what we're at here. So I'm sorry. Okay. This is the, from Donna McBride. This just is to almost everyone. It says, "Good morning all. I wanted to drop a note to let you all know I'll be retiring effective November the 12th. It has been my great pleasure to have worked with you for so many years. My time in the Ohio Public Works Commission provided me with the opportunity to know and work with so many wonderful individuals whose commitment to public service made so many wonderful projects become a reality and serve the needs of the citizens of Ohio. Ohio is truly lucky to have such dedicated individuals working in their interests. It says your dedication and hard work was a daily inspiration to me. It says, while I will miss you, I have decided that I want to explore new endeavors. You will always be in my heart. Should you want to contact me after your departure, this is her information. And I thought it said who was taking over.
She didn't say he was taking her place.
I thought it did, but obviously it didn't. If anyone wants to look at this, you're more than welcome to. It just says this is her, it's her email address and her phone number after she retires. And then this is all of the individuals on the,
That's quite a name, at least.
yeah, it says, Dear Donna, congratulations, and this was from a Bobby Bashira, and I don't know if that's a man or a woman, the city manager, city of Rittman, in Rittman, Ohio, so that's the only one that I received. So, as I said, I thought she had put on there who was taking over for it, but I guess not.
He was good at that job.
Tammy Gugline had sent a message through, just letting everyone know that the second half of the real estate, tax checks were being mailed out. She said if you can be there by noon on, I don't know, printed tomorrow on Tuesday, September the 21st, checks will be ready by noon tomorrow if you'd like to pick up the checks. If your funds are a wire transfer, then those are given to the treasurer's office. If she doesn't hear from us by 3, then they go out in the regular mail. And we have received our second half settlement. There's still an ongoing fraud claim update. It just says, on September the 13th, we wanted to let you know we're continuing to research your fraud claim, and it's the fraud claim number with US Bank. If you need any additional information, or if we need any additional information, we'll either contact you by mail or phone. In the meantime, just a reminder that the charges for this claim have been credited, which they have. They were credited on last month's bill. There is a local government officials conference, and it was just a survey that they wanted to have done by September the 15th. So, nope, that's the same one. Tammy had also sent on September the 8th, she said, it has been brought to my attention that things that are being mailed in the regular US mail to and from our office are not being received. So that's through the auditor's office in downtown. If you are requesting an amended certificate, sending appropriations, or any other correspondence to our office, feel free to drop me an email and let me know that something is headed my way. I also plan to correspond by email when our office sends something to you. Most of my things that I do with Tammy, we save in files and we just email them to her. Because sometimes it takes a very long time for stuff to get through. We have a new employee that has child support, so I had to set up an account through CSPS, through them to be able to withhold his child support and get them paid in a timely fashion each month. And this is just a message from them that the information was available and I needed to go to our bank because they had made 2 deposits in our bank, and I had to key those 2 amounts in that they had put forth. It wasn't just a normal, it was like 96 cents and 4 cents or something like that. It totaled $1. Or maybe it was $2, I don't remember, but you have to go through that to do your CPS. You can also do a check, but they said that the problem is sometimes they don't receive the mail in a timely fashion, so they need to be done. So that's the reason that we set it up that way. Shelley Materials said that for 2022 that the price of aggregate would increase by 10%. There was a message from ODJFS, which is Job and Family Services, that I had to go in and check with them. The volunteer fire department, SBA profile needs, and this is just how, if they receive grant money, or if they're awarded a grant for, if you guys find grant money for a new buggy or for equipment or something like that, in order for you all to get paid, you have to have what they call a DUNS, you have a DUNS number and then you have a cage number. and you have to go in periodically and update that information that says, yes, we are still here, yes, we are still an organization. And that's what this was. It just said that you needed to go in and, do that information. The grassroots clipping for October, I gave you guys a copy. I just got it in the mail over the weekend. So I thought I made you guys copies of
Yeah.
the pictures.
No, go ahead.
The US Bank, we have zero balance right now. Jim, I apologize, I opened a piece of mail. I'm gonna turn everything over on my desk, this is for you. It's a public safety vehicle application, and it's for Jamison Allen through the fire department. They asked for what the make and model of the information is. And I apologize, Jim, all the stuff's in there, I just opened it up accidentally, so.
Okay, no problem.
We received from Matt Cochran, I just got it out of the mail today, it says, normally Cochran Trucking or Elko Aggregate, which is all the same, they would bill us monthly. They are now going to weekly basis for their checks. So it says we will begin billing out on a weekly basis as of this last week of September. Billing will be sent to Matt Cochran Trucking in Nelsonville. For inquiries, you can talk to Matt or Jerry at the, on Varner or Blackwood. Yeah, we look forward to continuing to serve you. And as I said, we just got this new bill, and it was for, part of this I have paid because it's $1789.48, and I have not had time, as I said, it just came in my mail today, and I've not had time to look through it and match up the, tickets. But that's what they're gonna do, so now it'll be weekly, so whenever we get stone from them, it'll be a weekly bill. So it'll be about 2 weeks behind by the time they get us the bill, and we get it circulated and back to them, so, I mean, I don't know how fast their mail is gonna come. We had a workman's comp claim with one of our employees, Eric, and then I got a message today, in the mail, it says, ensure the most accurate data is filled with the Ohio Bureau of Workman's Comp, additional claim information is needed for the above named injured person. Please contact me, it's Megan M., she's a claims specialist, and then we also received from Ohio Bureau of Workman's Comp this paperwork that needs to be filled out as well. And as I said, I just received all of this, and I have not had time to look at it or go through it, but that will be happening in the next couple days. I think that's about it. We received, through our DUNS number, we had to, through the ARPA funding, we had to have a individual that has received DUNS, received money using their DUNS number. The DUNS number that we have is for us as well as it is for the fire department, because we are one entity.
Right.
We are not, they're not their incorporation, so the DUNS number is used for both. We received notification that once we got all of our, we had an issue with our Title VI, I'm sorry, it's called, it was a Title VI, and all it was, the application for the Carthage Township has been received. Unfortunately, the required Title VI compliance form attached to the application was signed by the grant contact, which was myself instead of by Robert Poland. So as soon as I got it, I took it up to him, I had him sign it, and I emailed it back to, I scanned it and emailed it back to them. So then we received, wanted to follow up, the request for the Title VI compliance form to be completed and signed by the authorized representative and emailed. It's just telling us that the deadline was the 24th because they extended it because so many townships were having issues getting all of their information to submit to Grants, Ohio. They have received my application, and this was the information about the DUNS number. It's just the IRS TIN match validation was successful when I had to go in and redo it. So all that information is there. And this is the last one. It says, thank you for registering for the following opportunity. American Rescue Plan Act. coronavirus local physical recovery funds for the Ohio non-entitlement units of local government, registration submitted by Gail Buckley. Your registration has been approved, your award amount is $80,501.19. Your entity's application has been approved in your first, I don't know how to pronounce it, it's TRANCHE. I think it's tranche payment is shown above. This is half of your allocation and should be received within 15 business days or sooner. Your NEU recipient number is our Ohio number 1469. And please note that your DUNS number is not in the SAM's government. An active registration is required for the submission of mandatory reporting to the U.S. Treasury, which that's what I was telling you about was the SAM's. All of that information has been updated. So I'm just waiting on notification that we have received the money.
So we should be getting 80,000.
That is the first, yeah,
And we need to
$80,000.
find out what we can spend that on.
But there's a lot of information out there that they're
Before the-
saying that it can be used for like sidewalks, it can be reused for parks, it can be used for berms, it can be used for walkways. But as far as being able to be used specifically for roads, there's not anything that
No.
says it can be used for roads.
And the way they explained it that night up at the meeting, basically, everybody apply for it. If you get it, hang on to it, and they're hoping as things progress, they will widen up the scope of what you can spend this money on. Worst case scenario, the finite things they give you to spend it on won't change, and we just give the money back, no strings attached. And that's what they advised up there at night at the informational meeting. Nobody knew much about it, and I still think right now nobody knows much about it. The criteria is pretty tight. Looks like you should be able to spend it on roads if you can build a park with it, but that's not what it says at the moment. So
And 4% of it we can use for anything, right?
4% can be used for anything.
So is that like you take 2% of the first half
Well,
and 2% of the second half? Or?
that would be something we'd have to inquire on. They told me 4% could be spent on anything. And that figured out, I had a number, figured out
$4,000 was 160 some thousand, I figured it.
X amount, so they were pretty vague because they really had no answers. It was an informational meeting without much information. I think everybody come away with about the same take on it, so
It'd be nice if we could use that on the road. I know a slip we could use more.
absolutely. Athens Township sounds like they were gonna build a park or
We
something.
need sidewalks out on Young Road.
I tried that one time on Jordan Run, when we was applying for, money for Jordan Run out there. And I told Donna, she said, well, I forget what it was, a great amount of money if you wanna build a bike path. And I said, let me fix Jordan Run, give me the money to fix Jordan Run, and they can ride their bikes over it. But that didn't work. Alright, that's all you had?
That's all the correspondence that I had. as of
Oh,
right
good.
now.
About the chainsaw we talked about in minutes for the fire department, spare chain, got it set up and ready to go. It's already on the truck over there where it was needed at the firehouse.
I think everything in the minutes that we mentioned has been fixed now, right?
Yeah,
Pretty much.
the old white truck, it's up and running, it was used today. Brought the mini excavator back. We had some brake issues on both trucks, but they've been addressed and remedied, so. Nothing serious, it just,
Slide adjusters.
yeah, well, no, it was the pop-off valves on the
Oh.
dryers.
Yeah. Anything else on old business? If not, we'll move on to new business.
Did we ever get the knock sensor for the 5K?
No, I
Haven't been
called,
notified.
I called last week. Guy said they got several people waiting on them. Ford Motor Company had pushed it out till I think October 15th. So,
Again?
yeah, again. So, we're just kinda
Well, I hope we get it before it snows, because man, that thing, we need it.
I don't know.
I know.
The guy had no clue. I talked to the same
Seriously
guy all
lacks
3
power
times.
without it.
It barely get out of its own way without it, so, and there's no aftermarket one, what I've looked and talked, so I don't know what to do. I think there's a lot of people in the same boat on a lot of these parts for certain vehicles.
There's no more old business, going to new business.
I have, is our employee back full-time?
As of today.
Okay, I didn't know,
Yes. All employees are back.
okay.
He told me he sent a picture to you of the negative test. You can get it in the records somewhere.
Okay.
You need to print that off, put it in your file.
You
I'll
need to
see
tell
what I
me
can
what
do.
that was
Paper.
about.
A hard copy.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's what I
Yeah, we need to.
assumed would be done, but, you know,
Chris, you need to mention that to everyone, what it was,
what's that?
that we had a person off because of COVID.
Oh, we had one of the employees off, due to the coronavirus, tested positive, and they did end up getting, a little sicker with it, and they are on the mend now and tested negative, so they're back to work.
And everyone else was quarantined and they were not working.
Yeah, nobody else has tested positive or anything of that nature. Makes it difficult to get stuff done, but it's happened everywhere to almost every place of business or operation in this country. Deal with it and go on.
New business?
Drove over to Sand Rock this morning to try to appease the new landowner down in there.
Somebody did purchase it,
Excuse me?
somebody did purchase it.
Yeah, I don't know the last name, I can't even pronounce the first name, so. Give me a second, I give you your first name. But anyway, the conditions of the road from Rome Township, Lightner, the first couple 300 feet's not bad because there's been a timber company in there and they stoned it up pretty decent. But from there on down to these folks' driveway, rough, doesn't even hardly cover the situation. There's one area in there where all the topsoil, or any kind of soil, and any road material has been eroded from the sandstone boulders. It's gonna take, for the entire job, I would estimate it'll take close to 1,000 ton of stone of various sizes. It's gonna be a big job. I thought we could, from text messages, I thought 4 hours, 6 hours, we could straighten it up. After seeing it today, we're gonna be there a week, if weather would permit it. So it's looking rough down there. It's gonna take a lot of stone, gonna take a lot of equipment, at least one 24-inch culvert, probably 40 foot in length. And even beyond that, she informed me today that there are 2 access points to that property that they want addressed.
Well, we only have to fix one for the law.
Yeah,
That's what we run into
The
on
other one
Miller.
later, I mean,
That's what we run into on Miller, there just had to be to the edge of the
so,
property.
yeah, I
no
didn't,
access.
but we will look at the other one later, but
and she was also inquiring about a culvert that crosses their entry. You can't call it the driveway, it's just dirt. But I think it's out of the right of way, and I think that's their responsibility. I told her as such.
now if it's out of the right of way, we can't do nothing with it.
Her first name is Galina, Galina. So she never offered a last.
Does she have a phone number? Does she give you
Text.
contact number?
Yes. Give me Her phone number, it's a Columbus area code, 614-325-6856.
So slow down.
614-325.
325
6856.
56.
Now, are they moving down here, or are they just purchasing?
I don't know what the plans are, I didn't ask for any details, I just know that that road is in,
Well, that's what you get into.
Bad
People put the roads on non-maintained status 2 years ago. Now we gotta open them back up.
yeah.
We have to open them back up, but you can't land off land. That's what you run into.
Did you say 1,000 tons? How much did you say?
Well, that's what I said, but hopefully less, but err on the side of,
We just have to see what people wanna get into it.
yeah, it's gonna take some big rock over top of that sandstone, it's gonna take some C's, and then bring it up, and then add some 4s, some 2s, then top it off with 57s, but it's gotta be a lot of ditch work done first. Now, the portion where the timber company put down the stone, we'll just, my suggestion, well, it's my road, that's what we're gonna do, is dip it out to the back with the,
Backhoe.
the track, the bobcat. Cause we don't wanna pull out all that dirt and that mud, well, right now it's mud, I mean, we went down, me and Steve drove down in there, and, it's a good thing old redhead 4-wheel drive, she'd have never come back. And I'm totally serious, I mean, it's washed out so bad, you put your right wheels up on the solid dirt, and down in here, you're like this. On the sandstones.
How soon do they want that done?
3 months ago. I told her I was trying to address it sometime this week, but it certainly looked like it's gonna be next week or the week after before we can get in there. And that's all weather dependent.
Oh, sure.
Yeah,
Sure.
we better get her chip and sealing done while we can get it done.
That's why I backed her off as much as I could.
Yeah.
We got chip and seal program to complete.
Yeah, we can just, hopefully next week, maybe we can spray more, maybe get it done next week, we'll see weather.
Shoot for finish next week.
Weather dependent, this week,
And then
kinda
try to
turned out to be a
address
bust, this rain.
the sand rock road.
Yeah, go over and hammer on that, try to get it done.
If weather permitting, we could get all of our equipment down in there, it's gonna take all 3 pieces
Mm-hmm,
before it's finished, in both trucks, and
mm-hmm.
a lot of hands.
Yep.
Just another problem we have to deal with.
Oh, sure, it'll be addressed, it'll be handled.
I had a phone call from Laura and Hancock, what's her name?
More Babcock?
Babcock.
Babcock.
Last Thursday. This is a 2018 thing.
She's with the
We-
EMA if anybody wants to know.
We have been approved for the slip on Park Road. We're just now getting approved in 2018.
Really?
Really?
It was the FEMA that we had, we were approved for
Dog Hollow. got
Dog
approved.
Hollow, and then we also submitted paperwork for the slip on Park Road.
Never heard no word
I
out of
didn't-
them.
I-
We
I
called
did not know
them.
that we were approved for
They
the
were
one on Park
supposed to
Road
check
because it just kept
backwards.
getting pushed to the back.
They
Well,
were
the
supposed
way
to
they
check
do it
backwards.
now, according to Donnie, I talked to Donnie this morning, and I asked him why nobody knew about it, and they didn't even know about it, so I submitted the paperwork this morning and told him. Now, the county engineer can go into the photo, pork photo, or whatever they call it, portal,
FEMA
and see what slips in their county have been approved and hasn't been approved, but before he couldn't. And we can't do that.
No, we don't have
Well,
access to them.
So, he was gonna check out and make sure what I was telling him was right. I had no reason to lie to him,
Mm-hmm.
but, I took all the paperwork I had up there on that slip, and that's fully funded money there,
Wow.
but they're not gonna, I tried to get him to help me on the design, and he said we'd probably have to hire our own engineer to design it, but it comes out of that money,
Mm-hmm.
so.
we have to pay for it up front. The way Dog Hollow worked, we paid for it all up front, and then we submitted all the paperwork to them, all the bills of the stone that has to be done, all of the amounts of work that the workers did, their hours. I have to submit the copies of their
Well,
time
that-
cards.
Equipment
No,
charge.
that, it's equipment charges, how much it is, and all that goes to them, and then they look at it and see if it's all up to par or snuff, or whatever you wanna
That-
call it, to make sure it's all, and then we receive the money back, so
That
it's not
was-
like,
That
That's
was the in
because
kind where we did
done
it
the slip
ourselves.
ourselves.
yes, yes,
This has to be put out to bid.
oh, okay.
Yeah,
This
it's
one has to be put out
$189,000.
there. Okay.
Yeah, it'd be a contractor doing it.
This has to be put, we don't have the equipment to do that anyway. Ain't no way, not where I'm thinking.
Excuse me, Bob. Where on Dog Hollow did you have a slip? Can I ask you that?
Where at?
Where on Dog Hollow?
Down below, Nelson's property on Griner,
I know where, on Grider's old property?
yeah, where the old house is,
Yeah,
on Griner.
yeah.
Just down below his driveway there a little ways. It wasn't much of a slip, it only, I don't know, we probably fixed it for
It was, I
$2,000 or
don't
$3,000, it wasn't, I mean, we just
I think
rocked
it's
it.
around 65 or
Yeah, I
70.
think it was.
Yeah, it
between
wasn't,
$6,000 and
it wasn't much of a
$8,000.
slip, it was,
Well, I travel that road occasionally, I don't remember any slip there.
yeah.
Well, it's there. You
Yeah.
look for the
Yeah,
rock.
You drive down through, you'll see where we put the big rock in there.
Past the oil tanks on the left there.
Yeah,
Past
as
that
you
oil
go
tank,
towards,
Toward Griner Road.
go towards Model Road.
toward
Model
Marl.
Road,
Yeah.
Griner Road.
Yeah, there on the left, this is, go past this driveway there to the old house. It ain't very big, I mean, it's small.
It's small, but it's deep. We had to dig.
Yeah, we had to dig way down there.
Dug deep.
Anyway, that's the situation on Park Road. And
Well, we'll have to proceed to the next step then, if we got
Yeah.
funding for it.
that's,
Fortunately, it ain't slipped anymore, but
Mhm.
No, it hadn't
yeah,
moved.
it ain't moved, so
Yeah.
we'll be all right on it, but we'll have to hire, like I say, we'll have to hire Buckley Group or somebody to engineer it for it, but that comes out of
that money.
that money.
Yeah.
Not gonna cost us anything. And we can do in-kind work on that, but I don't know of any in-kind work right there we can do to save,
It'd be hard to right there, cause we don't have the,
if we can keep the state from dumping deers down the road there.
that help.
Yeah, and state workers, you just never tell what they're liable to do, can you? So-
Anyway, that's where we're at on Park Road, and that was, I done gave up on that. I'm gonna be honest with you, cause I know,
We checked on several times and we never got a response, talked to a couple different people on it that said they'd get back and they never got back, so what do? You know, well, Columbus started beating on doors, I don't know who's
well,
doors
Laura
started beating
never got the
on.
information either. See, so she couldn't call us back, she couldn't let us know nothing, cause she didn't know nothing.
Well, it's been tied up in a queue somewhere somehow and evidently it's finally made it out, so
That's 2018.
Well, good.
I'm telling you.
the wheels
It was in
move.
February when we had all that flooding.
The wheels do move.
Yeah.
Well, and that was when we declared disaster area too, that's one reason.
That's the key to FEMA. You have to be declared a federal disaster
If the
area.
county's not declared disaster area, zero FEMA money, no FEMA money, at all. That's the
Okay,
key.
move on, any more new business?
Yeah, I got a couple of, couple of grants for the firehouse. Still, we're home at $25, and you'll see that it's $50, and they doubled it. The
So they
individuals
gave us
doubled it.
a donation.
Mhm.
I got a phone call from Keith before I left the house. He said he talked to you about something last week.
Yeah, and I'll bring it up under new business, he wants to know if he's gonna get laid off for the winter, or what's gonna happen there. And I guess basically he wanted to know if he wasn't gonna get laid off, he'd like a raise or more money on the air or something, so
Well,
I told him I'd bring it up tonight, we'd discuss it.
he's not gonna get no raise, I'm gonna tell you that. And the reason why he's not getting a raise, my opinion, this is just my opinion, we hired him a helper because he couldn't fulfill his job duties throughout the summer, so we hired him a part-time helper to help him. So to me, that's his raise. I mean, And probably, I'm thinking, probably we will lay him off this one. That's just my thinking, I mean, that's just me, you guys can.
Well, that's
But
kind
you
of,
really don't have that much work for him to do in the winter time, and you can't really do that much in the winter time anyway, because.
Day after day after day, last winter, I held down a chair, that's basically the biggest thing he did. So I say no.
So I'd say when the mowing season's done, whenever that is.
well, you wanna go November first, or what kind of date you wanna do?
Well, I don't know what this weather's gonna do. If it stays warm,
If it
last
stays
year we
mild,
moved up
grass
to
will
about the
continue to
15th
grow.
of these, November last year. So, we can go for that date. And
Well, use that date or an earlier date, how about this wrinkle? And if still needs to be mowed, what are we gonna do with the Jeremiah situation?
Jeremiah, I done told Jeremiah he was gonna get ready.
Oh,
I'm pretty sure of
I
that,
wasn't
because
aware
we
of
can't
that.
keep him.
No, I mean, you can't keep him, but I was thinking if you, I guess I'm explaining my thought enough.
Well, he'd probably get laid off by the same time Keith did.
If you
when
lay
the mowing
Keith off and
season.
the grass grows, I was thinking Jeremiah could take up the slack and mow.
Well, that's gonna cause a problem because you're laying off a senior employee over a part-time employee.
How about we just lay both of them off November first?
Why don't we just table it and decide on November first? And see what the weather is?
Well, he was wanting to know beforehand, cause his winter clothes have gotten destroyed or crusty, if he needs to buy some warm clothes beforehand or whatever, I guess he was wanting to know as soon as possible.
Well, the next meeting will be Monday, November first.
No, November the second.
Hmm?
Oh no, wait a second, I'm looking at 2020 calendar, that does not help me. I have a 2020 calendar, that's how come. Somebody put it on top of mine.
Well, we can go for November first, usually the cemetery don't grow that bad after that, so. That's it.
Use that date, in my opinion, yeah.
Lay them off
Lay them both
November
off.
first.
I need that in form of motion.
So moved.
Second.
No, use it in a motion. You all need to make a motion.
I make a motion that we allow Keith and Jeremiah November the first, 2021.
Second that motion.
All in favor?
Aye. We can readdress the issue come spring.
Well, we gotta save money somewhere because it's gonna be a long winter,
It is.
not road and bridges. Any more new business?
As I told you guys, we received the second half of your settlement, second half of your real estate. You guys should have a copy, I think, I'll give you a copy, of just the permanent tax. I didn't give you a copy of the check, it was for 97, wait a second. The total that we received, well, actually, the total that we received was $97,474.32. The actual distribution was $99,196.16. There are deductions that the auditor's office keeps out, which is auditor fees, which was $281.68. They had treasurer fees of $380.81.
Wonderful land banks.
The land bank, one was the land bank was $24.91, and then just the regular DRETAC fund was $49.86. And then the health department takes $984.58 out of it.
Wonder why the sheriff department's not on here this time.
I have no idea.
It's not.
It's not on there.
Mm-mm.
So I don't know if they inadvertently did not add them. I don't know.
I don't know either. They
I
usually
can go
get,
back and see if they
they don't
sent
get
something
that
that
much,
I
but they get a
missed.
pretty decent chunk of it, really. Okay.
I don't know. I'll send Tammy a message and ask her why they didn't take the sheriff's fees out. So that's what it was. It was $97,474.32. The second half of the state, which I don't know, usually it's a month or two after we get our real estate. Sometimes it's the end of October, sometimes it's November. That portion will be $14,680.83.
Have the lease fund status, fund balance reflect this 97,000?
Yes, sir, it does, yes.
Except you said the chip seal levy minus 10
Well,
grand.
it'll
because the
have-
bill come in for-
Yes, it will be $10,686.94 less, plus whatever the new bill from Matt Cochran, because, as I said, I just got the invoice,
Right.
so I don't know if all that was for chip and seal, or if that was just for
So
road
we've got
repair.
roughly 50 grand left in chip and seal.
Yes,
You take 10,000 off of it,
yes, if you take, right now, it says that
so
we
we'll have
have
45,000 left in chip and seal.
55, so it'll be 45, and then if we have any gravel, more gravel that comes out. No, I'm sorry, ooh, I'm on,
I think we got the gravel all bought, haven't we?
We've got the,
there's $60,000 in it, so you take 10,000 off, that'll be 50, plus whatever we have in gravel. And unless you get more tankers, then it's about $10,000 a tanker. And I don't know how much the tanker will spread,
Yeah.
I don't know how
We've
far it
got-
will go.
the cover stone, but if there's any more buildup have to be bought, we don't have that. We've only got a small portion out there.
Right.
As I said, I just received that one. We also got, our excise, which is our gasoline tax, our 5% road ratio, and our permissive for September. The total receipt was $14,516.38. Of which $12,423.31 was the gasoline tax, which is what the workers are paid out of. That's what the majority of your guys' pay is paid out of, is the gasoline tax. The motor vehicle license tax, it's $1,470.57, and then the county levied motor vehicle license tax was $622.50. In August, it was $14,827.69, so it was about the same as it was because August we didn't get until, and it went in September's information. I just wanted to give that to you guys so you would know.
What did we get from the Florida Department on the new money? On the levy?
Yeah, I was curious about that myself.
Okay, fire department received I'll just read it off for everybody. The general fund received $23,955.57. The inside road and bridge, which is what we use for, gravel, maintenance on the roads, all the stuff that goes on the roads, the sand and all that in the middle of winter, was $22,672.85. The fire received $15,795.19. Road maintenance, which is the chip and seal fund, was $29,208.93. And the cemetery was $5,841.78. I apologize. I read off the total and didn't give you the individual funds.
That's up considerable what I thought it would be, with the real estate taxes being down, I mean, people.
Well, they were down the first half, the first, part of the year. So this is about what we received the second half of the year. So I don't know if several people have gone delinquent, or if it's just worked out that, more people just waited to pay their total for the second half of the year.
Did you say the first half we were down roughly $40,000?
I think that's about what it was. I'd have to go get my computer. and
That's
look.
what I thought you had said.
Um,
That's a chunk for no more money
So,
than we get.
as I said, that was and then of course, we received the local government distribution, which is the local government and local government supplement, which is $1,343.52. That was the August one. We haven't received September's yet.
So, between now and April, we gotta watch that road and
We
bridge.
will, the only thing that we'll get is the only thing that we'll get additional is is from the state. And the state is one of them we
Gasoline
don't
tax
get.
will come in monthly though, won't
I'm sorry?
Gasoline taxes,
it? Gasoline tax will come in monthly.
Yeah, gasoline tax comes in monthly.
Been averaging
From-
14
We'll
grand.
only get about $3,973.24 from the second half of the state for the inside road and bridge. Fire, we don't get very much, or the cemetery, because those are, levies that we have. So we don't get very much. $956.85 for cemetery, $47.8426 for road maintenance, which is chip and seal. Fire is $595.93. Inside road and bridge is $39.73.24, and then the general fund is $4,370.55. So that's where we stand on that. So basically, with the addition of about $14,000, and then what we receive for the gasoline tax, that's, the numbers that you have there will basically have to hold us over till next year.
Well, we're not too bad a shape. We're being down like we was at the start of the year. We kinda gained a little bit back at the end of the year, so I think we'll be all right. We just have to watch that road and bridge, but I think we'll be fine.
It was,
Anything else in your business?
yes, the check that we wrote to Poolville Fire Department, I know you guys haven't brought it up yet. We wrote it back in June, and they still have yet to cash it.
I can give you some info on that.
So I sent a message to Kirk Shaw and asked him, could he please look into it? So he sent me a text back and said, yes, I've looked into it, and it's being taken care of on their end, and that's where he left it with me.
What do you
The
have?
lawyer was sitting on it.
Who?
The lawyer, their lawyer, he was
Oh,
sitting
yeah?
on it. They finally turned it over to him, last week.
That's
Wow.
curious.
That's sad. I mean, them guys probably need that money, you know?
Yeah, they do.
I wrote the check on, I don't remember, I think it was like June the 3rd, I'd have to go and look.
It was.
But that's when the
his
check
first
was
June.
written, and it was
First
delivered
week
the
of
very
June.
next day to our lawyer, to the prosecuting attorney's office.
Hand delivered.
Their lawyer sat on it all this time. You know?
Well, I'm just
Nothing
telling
to
you.
do about
I
that.
mean,
It was paid.
Yeah,
Well,
what,
if a check is not cashed in 60 days, isn't it?
No, yeah, I believe it is.
It
How
varies.
long has it been? It's getting awful close to 90.
Some accounts will go 6 months, it just depends, but I think
Yeah.
ours,
Huh?
it varies on
Hawken
each
Valley,
account.
It's good as long as you don't stop paying.
no.
and we did not
really.
stop payment on it.
Hawken Valley won't honor.
Yeah,
that
yeah,
check
if you
after
stop
90
paying on it,
days.
yeah.
Cause Bernie went through that with the auxiliary, there was a check somewhere somehow that didn't get cashed. And they said, don't worry about it, you don't need to stop payment on it, we don't honor it.
It doesn't
I
say
hope they
on,
honor that one.
It doesn't say.
it doesn't say on this check at all. Some checks, it'll say 60 days void, if not cashed within 90 days, 6 months. It just depends how the accounts are set up and then what the, financial institutions, what their policies are. Doesn't say
Wonder why
anything on
he
those
sat
checks.
it so long, I wonder.
No, I know Jeremy, Craig had their hands full down there with that mess.
No. And I know they probably need that money.
It's no worse than us refusing to pay them originally.
Pardon?
What was that?
It's no worse than us refusing to pay them initially.
Nobody refused to pay them.
Are you saying you don't agree with the way the wording of that contract was?
I'm not gonna say anything.
Okay.
We never refused to pay them, but it's not our money, and we have to watch what we do. So we asked our attorney if that money really went to them, with the paperwork we had to back, you know. As soon as him and Coolville's lawyer would have made an agreement, we wrote the check. If they said, write them the whole check, it would have been done.
How much was the check, Bob?
$17,500.
That was the settlement,
That was the settlement.
yeah.
I know it's been a long time.
But we didn't refuse to pay them, we just wanna know, in our situation, if we went ahead and paid them, then the money didn't belong to them, then we had to pay that back out of our pockets.
But I thought you had agreed to pay them your annual fire department fund for the coverage that they provided.
So that was the issue.
Okay.
That was it, that's where we had to find out if we owed it to them or not, because the last contract we signed with them, I can't remember how it read, but I'll probably have a copy of it back here. But we paid them a year in advance, okay? So in 2018, when we stopped the contract,
December
we'd
31.
already paid them for 2018, the way the contract reads. And that's the reason we wanted legal advisory on it, because, like I say, at 42,000, we'd give it to them. And I didn't mind giving it to them, it belonged to them, I'm serious. But I don't have the money to pay my share of it back. I'm a poor man. But that's what the situation was. It wasn't that we didn't refuse to pay them, we just wanted to know if that money really went to them or it stayed here. And they said, and that's what the lawyers thought it out. So I can't believe it took that long to get it done, but that's just the way things work anymore. That was over probably over 2 years.
Plus, 2 years plus.
I mean, it shouldn't take that long to do something, I don't. Anyway.
I got something else under new business. I talked to Sean Ray this evening about, the whole road over there on Garner and Kincaid. If they were gonna buy liquid where we could chip and seal it, or what they were gonna do. He asked what a whole tanker would cost, and I said, well, it won't take a whole tanker. I said, 2 distributor trucks would probably do the whole road. So he kind of balked at that, and we haggled around and him hauled around, and basically he said he would buy, him and Matt, whoever, you know, the company, would buy 1 distributor worth of tar, which would be close to around $3,000, to shoot the real bad dusty spots where Matt fixed.
What the road agreement says is they have to keep the road up.
Yeah. So, we need to,
I think we need to hold to that because.
I
of that
think
we need to talk to
We'll
them
go ahead and
about,
press the road, then we'll let Kurt handle it.
well,
I mean, the
that was
road
my
agreement was
conversation
signed
with
by
them
us,
this
so
evening.
everything was signed with them.
mhm.
If they don't wanna honor the road agreement, then we'll let Kurt handle it.
And it got
I mean,
rough this summer times, you know.
they've been kind of bucking us on a lot of things over there here lately.
Well, you know, he also said that they're selling us a stone at their cost and all this stuff, so I didn't have a good answer for him. I said, well, I'll take this information to the meeting and we'll discuss it at the meeting.
That's just the way I feel about it. I mean, you know,
Well, the room is signed, it's, you know, supposed to be a legal binding thing, so
I mean, the whole road needs shot.
it does, the whole road does need shot,
from one end to the other.
so.
And also, they're using that other road, what's the name of that road? Huh?
Red Oak,
Red Oak.
Yeah,
we need to try to
I wanna
post that.
get some
we need to get signage and paint.
sign and put up there,
Put Hall Road with arrows to try to
truck
control.
route, arrows, bring them right back out on the road where it's supposed to be.
And I had talked to somebody, I can't remember, Kirk was in there yet. Had just got in there, but legally we can do that as far as directing the truck traffic. Now enforcement is like anything else.
Well, I don't think we'll have to enforce it too much, because Matt's driver's gonna fall.
Yeah.
What we're having trouble is independents, like
Yeah.
McKee and some of those other people.
Well, we seen them the other day going up over the hill to Days there,
Mansfield's
and,
Trucks is in there on Red Oak.
and, you know, that's not good. That road doesn't need that extra traffic.
Well, if they don't wanna live up to the road agreement, then we'll do what we have to do. That's just my opinion. I mean,
So, I know the section going toward Days, we can always put a load limit on there if we have to.
yeah,
There again, you gotta have somebody enforce it, so you can put up a sign, but
well, we can't put a load limit on there till after November,
well, we'd have to talk to,
freezing thaw.
we'd have to talk to commissioners. You can do it outside the freeze and thaw if you got something going on any of the roads. It's a little harder, but I think they could be swayed over to side with us, but hopefully it doesn't come to that. They just need
I
to stick
think we
to
put
the,
up truck route signs, I think we'll try it. I mean, them signs are expensive, but
but that's what he told me on the phone this evening. On my way home from work, I called him and got a hold of him, so I brought it to the meeting tonight and we discussed it, so we'll see where it goes from here.
no, we didn't ask them, I didn't ask them for a lower price in the stone, which I appreciate they give it to us, but
Well, it saves citizens money, but he made that offer to us. We did not approach him. He offered it up front. It's like the room agreement. He offered that up front to voluntarily sign and enter into it. We did not have to approach him about it. Then we approached the prosecutor's office to get it drawn up after he had voluntarily approached us about it. So, you know,
let's get the signs up. We'll get some made,
yeah, get some, maybe get them up.
get arrows on them, we'll point them out there. If they don't use it, then we'll call the sheriff's department, we'll call highway patrol, whatever it takes.
Yeah.
You know, I mean,
Well, we've gotta try to limit the damage on the other roads, if we can just keep it contained to that one road, you know,
them big trucks tear that road up, it's
yeah.
gonna cost a lot of money.
So what's your guys', are you gonna have them supply one tanker, or what are you actually gonna do?
Well, he offered one distributor truck, so we'll take him up on that for sure, and then go from there, but we'll just have to see, you know, we shoot the bad spots, and then we'll see what the rest of the road looks like.
Isn't that how it laid out last time? We bought one, they bought one.
I think that's how it worked, and the whole road basically ended up getting done. I mean, two will pretty much do it, it'd be real close to going.
I think we need to put it on a little heavier for that truck traffic.
Yeah, on that section right there, it probably does need on there quite a bit heavier to do any good and to last. So, let's get the other roads done that we've been behind on, then we'll get this done before the end of the month. And, you know, we've got some blacktop work to do there beside the 4-lane on the access road. Probably a couple, 3 loads of hot mix or whatever, so,
Like that Warner piece?
yeah,
Yeah,
Yeah.
Warner and,
yeah, where it's pumping out there real bad.
Warner and Kincaid. Well, that's what I wanted to use the 250,000 for, which
The ODOT grant,
Major has never got back with me on that yet, because he has to do the paperwork on that.
yeah.
I thought if we could get the 250,000, if it was enough money to, concrete stabilize that road.
It'd be
out
close.
there done for us.
It'd be close to doing it.
Like I say, he's gotta do the paperwork on that, that's what stated in that, in the regulations, and
Yeah.
Is there a time frame in that? Since I
that's
missed
gotta
the
be
last
done by
meeting.
November or something.
End of November, I think. It's not that far away. It's less than 2 months.
I don't know what's going on up there in the year ago.
Yep. I don't know either. After my conversation on the phone,
Kind of a cold shoulder up there this morning, I thought, when I was in there.
mm,
Maybe I should go with you.
Huh?
Maybe I should go with you.
Oh, I appreciate all the help you can give me on it, I mean, I'm not going, I mean,
I'm just kidding.
I never turned down good help, man. How you coming on the water line?
Haven't heard anything for a while. We're waiting for infrastructure. Get Congress off there.
Anything else on new business? You don't have anything? Nothing for the fire department? If not, motion adjourned.
That's our conversation today, we're gonna move the chip and seal up the next week, correct?
we'll try to spray next week, weather permitting.
Yeah, okay.
Well, supposed to rain again Wednesday, 70% chance Wednesday.
Yeah.
Well,
This
it
week,
rained every 2 hours today, doesn't it?
Yeah.
this week don't look very good, so
Can't chip the seal and rain.
we'll try to dress them up Monday and Tuesday, and we'll try to spray Wednesday or Thursday, depending.
Okay. Now, for tomorrow, I was gonna start one of them mowing and the other one dragging roads. Since it rained, the roads ought to drag nicely.
Good idea.
Yep.
Yeah. Yeah, it's a good time to do it. I
Yeah.
know Young Road probably needs drug.
Tomorrow, there's not much chance of rain, very little. I think it's gonna be overcast, so the roads shouldn't dry out too bad.
We caught up pretty good today on the wrench turn. So,
Tractor's all ready to go, right? I think
Yeah,
the
well,
lights fixed, air conditioner's working.
yeah, they gotta put the panels back on it. Well, I told Eric to, service both mowers in the morning. First thing, sharpen, lube.
Well, if we're gonna drag, I'll need a big tractor to drag with anyway, so. Okay.
Well,
Yeah,
if you
good idea.
If they get them sharpened up, they'll be ready to go when we do get
That's true.
a chance to mow.
Anything else?
I'll make a motion to adjourn the meeting.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you all for coming. Appreciate it.